We should be live in effect.
Ocha Records.
Just kind of let people, give it a few minutes to let people trickle in and join the stream. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope everyone is doing fantastic on a Tuesday afternoon, April 28th. Let this year be known. It is a crazy year. 2020 is full of apocalyptic madness, but it has kickstarted the technology revolution for the second time over. So when you talk about landmarks in history, in the technology revolution, we will always remember people like Ray Kurzweil. That's how you say his last name. And then we'll flash forward to like Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, and such. Mark Zuckerberg will land in there, and then COVID-19 will make its approach in technology revolution for all the good streaming and good stuff. So hopefully we should have people logging in. So we'll just do formal introductions. My name's Coflo. Good to see everybody again. I am the label manager and A&R for Ocha Records, and I'll pass the puck over to my virtual right. We have our fearless leader.
Let's practice because I messed it up last time. High five.
Hold on. Okay, so you're on. Oh, I'm on that side for you. Go to the other side. Go to the other side because of the stream. High five. There you go.
There we go.
That was better. A little bit. Yeah, on your side is one thing. What they're gonna see is that side.
Close. You can see the background there. But.
Carlos Mena, and then we have a special guest joining us, featured artist, but also a member of the family. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Alvarez. I go by my artist alias Ever After, and I do the social media and marketing for Ocha Records.
Fantastic.
Ta-da!
And there you go. So that's us. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump into the first song in our listening review here. Let me just pull up the information on screen so you can see it. So this first track is titled Enter the Room, and it is by the artist Soul Society and Ever After. So it is going to be out on May 1st. This is release 106. To give us a little bit of information, since Ever After is the artist for this song, I'm going to let her tell us a little bit about it.
Hey everyone, so as Cody said, the song is titled Enter the Room. This was a collaboration with Soul Society, and Matt and I had met at actually a dialogue party in Brooklyn that was Carlos and Spina's party, and we talked about collaborating, and he sent me over some songs, and this production in particular really stood out to me. I just loved the sultry jazz vibe and just the whole energy of the track. So my writing came super smooth. I'll usually kind of get a tune in my head, and I think the energy of the song really inspired this like nostalgia for me when writing the lyrics. I think it's a really special song for me right now, especially because we can't congregate in the clubs. We're in our community, the house music community right now. So this is really like a love letter to the club. And just as a dancer and an artist, what I've seen and what I've grown to really connect with in the house dance community. You'll hear throughout the lyrics a lot of little observations about, the reasons we do what we do, why we make house music, why we dance to house music, and why we just come to drink and enjoy each other's company with house music present. So I hope that translates to everybody who hears this song, and that it hits somewhere in your heart, and it's something that everybody can relate to.
Dope. Thank you very much. Let's give a little preview. Again, coming out May 1st. Will be 1 week exclusive on tracksource.com. So get your early promo. You can do your pre-order now. And of course, to follow that everywhere, digital and streaming, etc. at Bandcamp, yada, yada, yada. Let's check it out.
All right.
We enter the room, covered in darkness, exposing our wounds, vying to express our fate. What is this world?
Nice.
Oh, thank
Super
you.
excited.
Thank you.
Shout out to my man Matt, Jazzmatic, aka Soul Society.
Oh, so cool. So yeah, that's like we said, that's out imminently, coming very, very soon. Head over, check it out. The QR code is on there for those of you who like to scan things with your phone. Hold it up to the screen, scan, get the link. Otherwise, it's not too hard. Just type in Enter the Room, Soul Society, and Ever After. It'll be on TrackSource 1 week exclusive. Cool. So let's go ahead and move on to our next song here. Now, this song, we don't mean to have so much Coflo music involved, but it's a byproduct of getting to do your own A&R and making tons and tons of music. So the next song is titled Blueprint, and this song is a collaboration between myself, Coflo, and Brother Basil, who is an icon in kind of our American.
Prolific.
Prolific is definitely a good way to describe it for sure. But as another prolific guy, working with another prolific guy at the time. But Brother Basil used to go, started recording in the 80s, doing kind of like this underground dance music thing. He used to record as Basil Hardhouse. And one of my favorite records from the mid 80s that has like an incredible B-side. It's some of the earlier deep house of kind of like the New York, New Jersey area. He's I'm losing the record right now, but I can see the label in my head. He's been recording forever. He's been doing music forever. He's actually considered one of the early pioneered generations of loft dancers from the New York area. So he's inspired a lot of people, the generations of dancers that have gone on to teach American house dance style throughout the world. So he's definitely one of those guys that's been around a long time. He knows everybody and then some. Really, really great guy. It's been a pleasure getting to know him for a number of years now. We connected at a dance event, goes to show you, in LA. So didn't even connect through music at first. So here you go. This is Blueprint, song by Coflo and Brother Basil. There's a bunch of different mixes on this. I tried to get my my like Louis Vega on and do at least a few versions for the release. So this one is our bounce and skate mix. This is executive produced by Carlos Mena with the advice of keeping the drums bouncing and rocking. So here you go.
Just a little reflection. About a plan that I couldn't understand. It was something that they called in the hood. And sometimes they said it was part of being a man. But I couldn't understand, goddamn.
Fire.
I never saw a blueprint, and I never had a plan. I never knew the definition of being a man. I blame nothing on my father. Was the middle of three sons. Was oftentimes confused and related to no.
Such a fire track.
There you go, Blueprint. So like I said, there's a few different versions. We had you were listening. There's a version with a little bit more percussion, and then we have kind of the original take, which is has a lot more percussion. It's a little deeper, and then we have an alternative take of what you just heard that just doesn't have the Rhodes. So there's definitely a little something in there for most folks. This is, as you can hear in the lyrics, there's kind of like a deep-seated kind of remembrance of Basil's past, talking about his family in it and talking about the blueprint of what What Makes Basil Basil. So really, really awesome song. The album art was hand drawn by my wife, Tsunami Original. She does a lot of my artwork, or at least when I can convince her. And she's done a lot of cool stuff for Ever After as well. So yeah, the art is available. If you happen to want to get a print, we could probably make it happen. But it will be out on May 8th on TrackSource for a 1-week exclusive, and then after that, it'll be available everywhere as always. Cool. So let's move on to the
question for
yeah. Yes, sir.
you. Cut out a couple of times. Was that a Zoom thing or?
What's that? I cut out? Oh, I probably on Zoom. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can see the audio on my side looks like everything's clear as day. So it's probably just.
By the way, I love your studio.
What was that? Sorry.
The studio's amazing.
Oh, my studio. So
Killing it.
So because we had to jump on this live stream, I had to like run the dustbuster real quick and like clean things up. But I try. It's usually not like this pristine. But yeah, it's all good. This is room A. Next week I'll sit in room B.
Room B.
So messy that I can't even tell all that gear is there.
Right? Okay. Dope. So thank you. If anybody wants to record, holler at me. I'm work for hire, engineer for hire. So cool. The next song, this is a really great song to introduce. So we introduced a single last listening session from the Heavy Quarters. These are a handful of our South African groups that we rock with on Ocha Mzansi. The Heavy Quarters came to us with just a really unique sound. What was it, late last year with the Hungry Hyenas EP, which like especially me and Carlos just went rounds for weeks and weeks and weeks about it. We loved it. I played the title track off that EP out a bunch of times. Has like this broken beat vibe, this deep house vibe, just super unique, I think, for South Africa, and I think, or at least from what I'm hearing. So South Africa, stand up and be proud, because man, these guys are representing you well. They have an album coming out with us later this year, probably going to be dropping later in the summertime. We wanted to feature another song. This isn't going to be a single from the album, but we wanted to feature another song that kind of gives way to that deep vibe. And this features saxophone artist, treble clef, or horn artist. I think he plays a few different instruments, treble clef on this song. So this is Kofifi by the Heavy Quarters featuring treble clef, to be due out on their debut album here on Ocha Records later this summer. Debut. All right, here we go.
Sorry.
Yeah, so that's a little bit of a taste. There's probably still some bells and whistles with some of their projects, engineering wise, to be tightened up. But we are in no shortage of good stuff from the Heavy Quarters. So be on the lookout for their album. It's going to be titled 3 a.m. Again, later this summer on Ocha Records. Available everywhere where you can get the digital goodies.
Super looking forward to that project.
Yeah. All right, a blast from our past. So I have things to say, but I'll let Carlos introduce this one.
But I have a question. Sorry.
Yes.
Muted. Where did the 3 a.m. title come from?
Oh, that's what they want to call it. They want to call it 3 a.m. Oh, where did it come from in terms of where they conceptualized 3 a.m.?
Yeah.
So talking to the fellas, they never gave me a specific example other than they make late night music. So like you see a lot of their remixes, they'll title it like the Heavy Quarters 3 a.m. dub or what have you. So I assume because they like making kind of that deep late night stuff that's where it came from. I'd have to ask them a bit more. I just got the liner notes over today. So I need to visit what they have in the liner notes and kind of the welcome pack. And yeah, there's still stuff to be done. Obviously, this album has been a work in progress. They have probably 2 albums worth of music that they put together audition wise for us. So this is, as folks know, an album isn't as easy as just picking a couple songs. It takes a lot of work, and these guys have been working really hard the last year to put this together. So more info to come. I wish I knew the exact answer. So I'm gonna let Carlos introduce this next one. Carlos, because he can't see the screen that everybody else can. You're watching it? You can see it? Okay. I didn't know if you had it up or not.
I'm running the restream.
Oh, okay. We got the boss man's got it going. So the quick news from my end is this is one of the songs that actually turned me on to Ocha Records back. Besides meeting Carlos in the Bay Area, like this was like sound wise what turned me on to the record, the label. And this was the second release officially as a part of a single for Tamara Wellens' full-length album Life Is, which came out I think later either the next year or within months after. And this was back in 2007 when this track was released. So Carlos, why don't you tell us a little bit about this song?
Yeah, so this happened shortly after we decided to start the label. So Shunlade and I talked about this down in Miami. And while we were down in Miami, Tamara gave Shunlade some music. And he really dug her voice and the sound, and then he gave me the music. And so we decided to run with it. And this was the first song. I actually did the music for the original version of Oh Well on this release. And then we got some killer remixes on it. This is probably my favorite because it's Phil Sonic and Basamba together, and it's amazing. It works in the clubs and people love it, and Tamara does her thing on this song. It's just beautiful.
Awesome. So this is Oh Well by Tamara Wellens. I've heard her perform this live. I've actually even competed in dance contests where she's performed this song live. So if you are in the DMV area, DC, Maryland, Virginia, she's always around. She's doing stuff. Tamara is an awesome lady. Say hello to her if you get a chance to hear her. So here we go. Oh Well, Tamara Wellens is the Bossonic remix.
I'm finding out what it means to be
Oh man, I love that. I love that song so much.
So good.
Yeah, that song's like a
Butter.
huge part of my history with house music. So it's really an honor and a pleasure to be able to revisit that one. And like I said, Tamara's an awesome person. I'm hoping, I've talked to Carlos about this a few times, but it's just a matter of resources and doing things. But I would love to do like a remix project or like a Ocha Records, decades revival with some of those tunes that
That would be
Tamara did.
amazing.
Remix some stuff and put some new refreshing vibes on some of those classics. All right.
Yeah, that's classic. Speaking of remixes and revivals, we need to call David Harness.
I'll take that note. That's right. I do need to call David.
David,
David, if you're listening, you're probably not. Call me after this is done. But if you are listening, call me. Cool. So the next song, I'm really excited for this EP. We're only going to listen to one song from it, but the title is Los Espíritus, and it's by Danny Cohiba. You may already be familiar with his music. He has a lot of stuff in his catalog. Danny's been, when I spoke to him a while back, kind of talking to him a little bit, getting to know him, he had said at the time he had been doing music for over 20 years or something like that. So he's probably at 21, 22 years or something at this point. He's been doing this stuff a long time. He's based in Spain, and he has a fantastic wide range of what he can do production wise. So you can tell like he really has been doing this a long time, and he can create a lot of different sounds. This EP I really enjoyed because I hadn't heard some of the kind of like fundamental grooves of what he put together on this EP. I hadn't heard this from him, at least not in a commonplace in any of his back catalog. So when he sent this over to me, Carlos and I we jumped on it. So I was really happy. And the title track, at least this is kind of the working title of it. He may decide to change it by release. But this was like the standout track to me vibe wise. As a dancer, this is the one that worked for me most dance wise. So this is the title track, Los Espíritus, from the Los Espíritus EP. It's going to be coming out June 19th, celebrating his birthday on the 16th, OCH 114. So here we go. That's just a little preview of the first kind of third of the track. Jump into some more synth heavy stuff, picks up with the syncopation, energy that's coming out a little bit more. To me, like the beginning says it all because it lays down that fundamental groove, and it's got like it has like a classic kind of, to me, like a Ron Trent kind of like groove where things like glue and all the syncopation like really just clicks together. It doesn't sound like loops, like just like loop pack type stuff. So really vibe with what he has in this EP. So be on the lookout. That'll be out June 19th. Again, celebrating his birthday on the 16th. So keep it locked for more of Danny Cohiba. And if you're not a fan, you should be. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
It's
A lot of good music. I'm glad we got something from him on the label.
yeah, 100%. All right. So now moving from Spain, we take a short train to Italy, sort of. So we're moving over to Kiana. So this is a duo from Italy who they do a range of sounds, everything from kind of like your kind of more modern disco kind of club grooves over to the European kind of take on today's modern kind of Afro house, kind of inspired diasporic kind of vibes. This project that they gave to us, No Distinction, features a really cool spoken word by Katie Svek. I hope I'm saying her name correctly. It has like a really interesting blend of kind of like that funk groove, but it has more of a deeper undertone. It's not just kind of like a party loop. And when they sent this project over to me, it was really nice to kind of get something that I just hadn't heard from them before. And still a lot of the stuff that they're doing now kind of sways in different directions. So really enjoy this one. We have this one coming out very, very soon. It'll be hitting the Track Source digital shelves on the 15th for a 1-week exclusive, May 15th. And then shortly after that, it'll be available worldwide. So this is OCH 109. No Distinction featuring Katie Svek. This is Kiana. Let's check it out.
To try and see me. You don't try to understand me. It is impossible to understand someone without loving them, because what is being loved other than being understood, and why would you ever do one without the other?
Ooh.
There you go, a little taste. Gotta hear it. Gotta order it if you wanna hear the breakdown. You gotta play.
Yeah, I got hooked with that spoken word.
Yeah, they did such a. And there's like subtleties in the vocal production too that they did really cool with. And I'd imagine I haven't played it out, but I'd imagine on a really loud system, the subtleties around the vocal production, the kind of background delays and things they did are really going to pop out. So if you're a DJ who thinks in that way sonically and not just about how many shakers you can lay on top of each other, that's one of those tracks I would suggest testing out and seeing if it gets your dance floor moving. So again, May 15th, be on the lookout for Kiana and No Distinction. Kiana, No Distinction featuring Katie Svek. Great job, everybody. Really am happy with that and can't wait to see it come out. All right. So the next one here, we're giving you a really early preview. We don't have a release date assigned. We don't have a catalog number assigned yet. We have a really cool EP called Time to Play. This is by Mezza Pizzo. I hope I'm saying that right. I apologize if I'm just butchering your name. So this guy is actually from Swaziland. So really cool to get some music from Swaziland. So if anybody from Swaziland happens to be tuning in and listening, like big up. This dude is representing out there. Really cool kind of tech, deep African inspired kind of vibe. Doing this EP does the dance floor justice, especially if you're into those like Afro tech kind of vibes. So again, we're just giving you a super early preview. This hasn't been assigned a release date. Could be months and months and months. So enjoy the early preview and write the name down if you want to pick it up, because when it comes out, you don't want to forget. So here we go. This is the single from the EP, Time to Play. This is the single, The Path of Time by Mzansi. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that, but here we go. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit.
Can't hear it.
Very faint.
Right. Hope you enjoyed that super early taste. Yeah, it's we'll see when it comes out. Again, the whole EP has some fantastic tech grooves like that. So be on the lookout. Once again, Time to Play EP, The Path of Time. All right. So the next one, I'm actually really excited about this release. This is coming out at the end of the month. This is one that we've been holding on to for a little while, and we're going to probably do a really cool remix project around. This is the artist Sam the DJ from South Africa. We had a really cool release with him last year called Night Owl. So this EP is, oh man, it's just jam-packed with some really cool vocals. And this title track, Good Old Days, featuring Lucille, or Lucy, I hope I'm saying that right, Lucille Slade. Oh man, it's a wonderful song. You'll hear it. The other vocals on this EP and production and everything, lots of quality. They did a great job. Sam the DJ, May 22nd, OCH 110 will be available again with a promo on TrackSource, soon to follow digitally everywhere. This is the title track, Good Old Days, featuring Lucille Slade. Let's check it out. I'm going to jump forward a little bit in the song.
Good old days. Take it, let me take you to the good old days.
Hey.
To the good old days. I wanna go back to the old days. You're taking me back and move on. Back. Ooh, to the good old days. To the good old days. Take it, let me take you to the good old days. To the good old days. Take it, let me take you
Yeah,
They didn't know when they had me come on the Zoom, I was gonna be like
dude,
dancing all over the place.
yeah, this EP is so fresh.
Oh,
I've been like holding out on playing any of the music, just because I was like, if I play it super early, you know, then there's like not as much hype around the Shazams and the train spotting. I mean, I love just like breaking records. I mean, that's kind of like my thing, is like trying to test stuff out to my audience of like 10 people that listen to me play when I play music. But I mean, this is like one of those songs now now that we've unleashed it here, and you've heard it first, folks. my live streams are definitely going to be
here now.
Yeah, my live streams are definitely going to be featured in this EP, so it'll be super dope. What?
They're all different styles.
Yeah.
And production on all of them.
Yeah, they crushed it, and it's got like a classic vibe to it, which is like people are so afraid to dip back to some like things that just work. Everybody wants to try to stick with trends, and he did not do that for this project. So super cool. And speaking of going against the grain, one of my favorite production groups in the last X number of years, Ancient Deep. This is a release that just was recently released, and we're kind of wanting to revive it because we think that if you're ever sleeping on Ancient Deep, it's probably because you're not hearing things that you're used to. And they're always doing some really interesting things, whether they're going like a sampley route or they're going like kind of a modern sequenced synthesizer route, or they're doing something really interesting with vocals or percussion. These guys are really versatile. They really stick out. They do their own thing, and I really appreciate having them a part of the label as often as we do. This was the last EP that we did with them that just came out in the end of March, and it's called Synthetic Levitation. This is the song Funk Me Good from the EP. So check it out. Go check out the rest of the EP if you haven't heard it yet. Believe me, you probably slept on it, and you'd be surprised at how well this track does. So here's Funk Me Good by Ancient Deep. Man, that I love how they do what they do. Carlos always says, "Oh, I love Ancient Deep's hip hop sensibility." I always refer that to their sampling technique. I think that they do a really cool job with the lo-fi conversion stuff. I think it's super dope.
I boil it down.
What's that? Sorry.
I say genius things. I boiled it down to hip hop.
Carlos's new Twitter account is just going to be Carlos Mena quotes. So look for Casa Mena quotes on Twitter coming soon.
What was I say yesterday?
Oh, yesterday he texted me, I make music for the people while you make music for people who wear Birkenstocks or something like that.
I felt personally victimized by that because I like Birkenstocks.
I'll tell you what, one of my favorite dancers in the world from Detroit. Big shout out to my boy Garrick Moore from Detroit, Poseidon, OG Detroit dancer. He wears Birkenstocks. So
Well, I wear the knockoff ones.
well, he wears whatever he wears. They look
wears
like
the real ones, for sure.
Yeah, and if I make music to get him moving, then I'm winning. So that's fine by me.
In the comments on YouTube, yeah, I see that people are digging the music. It's up to everybody.
Yes, it's a debate. Well, not a debate. It's a win by Tsunami saying it's roller skating music, but also other comments from myself and Rose saying that it's power walking / get your shit together music.
Hey.
So. whatever that song makes for you is correct.
So moving on to the next project. We're giving you just a release that's out there, just giving you really early peek into another EP called I'm Another. And this is the song I'm Another from that EP by artist Ayala from Italy. This guy is doing some great music right now. His catalog, his Ayala moniker is got a relatively new kind of back catalog, but he does some really good stuff. I think probably my favorite thing about him is his sonics and his choice in sound and how he puts it together in his mix. So really excited to release this EP. We just had Azteca come out by Ayala recently, and which was an awesome single. So be on the lookout for this EP later this year. Here is I'm Another by Ayala.
That late night music.
Oof.
Late night, turn the light low, find the speaker.
Yeah, the dude knows how to do it. I mean, he can. I have confidence that he could probably do anything that he wanted. He's just a real sir. But yeah, be on the lookout for more music from Ayala. The dude's nice guy too. It's been a pleasure working with him. All right, let's move on to the final song in our listening extravaganza, and we'll let Carlos introduce this one, Le Rato.
Yeah, we gotta next time we gotta pick more songs.
I mean, we could do more, but an hour of previewing a couple of minutes of songs and listening to me talk a whole bunch is usually not on people's to-do list for a Tuesday afternoon, but. If everybody likes,
we could do more songs or more episodes.
Right.
Maybe more episodes.
True.
That's how much music we have. So Carlos, tell us about this one. This one was released back in what is this? Middle of summer 2011.
2011. So this was in fact I think when we did a video for this with Ife, he was like 3, almost 4 at the time, maybe 3. So if you're on here on the YouTube channel, check out the Lerato video. That's my son running around in the park. It's kind of cute. Anyway, Yeah, we got this song and we just loved it. And when I say we, I mean me. And we just got a few folks to do some remixes. And man, Trini knocked it out of the park. I mean, the drums on this are unbelievable. And this song just kills any time of day, any year. This is a forever classic. You play the song, people are going to dance. The Trinidadian Deep Juju remix is phenomenal. This is Lerato.
Here we go.
A little tease here and there. Ke go ratile le mathomo ke sa o bona. O sa kena ka lebati. Ke tsibile fela gore o le ke motho wa ka. Your smile, your beauty, your grace. Mpotjese, ke se dira byang se. Ke a tseba gore lena wa bona gore ke tshogile fela. Ke tla no bolela fela se se leng ka hara pelo ya ka. Ke tsapa go television eh. Ke a go rata o tseba. Ke na le lerato fela go wena. Ene ke tsapa gore se nka se fetole selo go ba nna ke santsane go rata ene ke a go rata ke nyaka re nne more than just friends ke so fela ke se ke nyaka go se bolela go wena mratu wa ka now mpotjese o nyaka go wa nyaka go na wa nyaka na gore re be more than just friends ke so fela ke nyaka go se bolela jale ke nyaka go kwa go wena o nagana eng. Can we just be more than friends? Mpotjese fela o naganang
Super dope.
Wow.
Lerato means love, by the way.
Dope. I think
That's
if I remember
saved.
right, Trini was living down the street from me when he did this song. If I can remember right.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy time period. He might. Yeah, I think so.
That's it.
Well, that's it for our listening. We did have a little tail end topic that we wanted to. We had talked about this last time. We had heard from some folks, some new producers that had been submitting demos or looking to submit demos to Ocha Records and talking about what that flow is going to look like. So I put together.
Let me start.
Yeah.
Do not write us saying, "How can I get signed?" That's okay. How can I sign? Just good music.
So what I did is I put on the A&R hat and decided to approach this both from an A&R perspective, but also as a producer myself who spent and still spends years in antagonizing, or I don't know what the right word is for it, but the long hours cutting my teeth trying to be heard and trying to be seen by folks. And this is the same thing with how I got involved with Ocha Records as any other great other group that I've been working with my own music. And it's the same approach that when it comes to what we do here at Ocha, especially with me and Carlos seeing the bulk of everything, some tips that we can give to you. So I put the kind of the cliff note ideas of the main topic, but I'll just give you the brief synopsis of each one of these tips so you understand where they're coming from. And the first thing is, number one, research the label's back catalog. So if you want to submit a song to Ocha Records, go listen to the stuff that we've done. We've done a lot of music. We've put out a lot of music. Look at the artists that are consistently popping up and look at what they're doing for our label. Mind you, Ocha Records is 13, almost 14 years old. So there's going to be a shift in the sound from the beginning to the end, but understanding that sound of the label that you want to submit to and seeing, does my music actually fit into that sound, is huge. If you're looking to introduce a new sound to them, then later on you'll see the tips and ways that you could potentially do that and ways to think about it. Number 2, look for proper submission instructions. Some labels plainly advertise, we're not accepting demos. We are accepting demos. This is how you do it. Follow the instructions to a T. Reread and reiterate those instructions. If something in that instruction doesn't apply to you or you can't be done, guess what? Probably you're not going to be able to submit to them. So think about that kind of thing. Be mindful of the instructions, because the labels put the stuff together so that they can hear what you're doing the way that they need to. If you negate those instructions and you just don't do anything and you just do whatever, chances are it's thrown right in the trash and they won't even listen to it. We have a very easy submission process with us. We just want you to email a particular email address, and that's it. We prefer all of the other tips in this email, but that's just because at the moment I suffer by doing things that I prefer not to, but it makes me more accessible to you. And that's just Ocha Records. We might be an anomaly in that way. Other labels may not do this. Yeah.
While we're on that subject, if you send a demo and you BCC us with 20 other labels and it's some generic email,
Oh God.
we typically ignore it. So don't do that.
Right. And there's
If our label, send it to us. If you just made a song and you're trying to get it signed to anybody, don't send it to them.
And I've responded to a lot of folks that I can tell who are really, really new, or they're doing something good and maybe they do have some experience and they're doing exactly what Carlos said. I've actually taken the time out of my day, which is, a few minutes, which is, to me, is worth a lot, to say, yo, please don't do this, because we're not a crazy big label. Like, we actually want to have a relationship. If you want to have a relationship with us, we want to work with you. In a lot of ways, we're investing money and time and effort into various different projects here at Ocha. So like, for us, the spam approach does no good. Just think about that from both ends, right? It's not just we'll ignore it, but also think about the time that goes into everybody's day for that. The third thing, title and subject your emails. That's it. Put a title, put a subject. You would be surprised how many people send emails that would have no subject. And I'm just supposed to read everything when my email box is just being slammed with lots of stuff, not just promos, right? So think about it from an AR perspective. How do you write a title that doesn't sound like spam and is sincere to what you're trying to do? You're trying to work with this record label. If you're just trying to have people put out your stuff and like promote your stuff, that's the wrong intention, especially if you're new. You want to build a relationship. So title and subject your email so you stick out. Number 4, introduce yourself. Be personable. Stand out. So when you're actually writing these emails, or whatever the submission process is to where you can about what's on, you want to stick out. People want to know who you are if they've never worked with you before. When you just say, here's my demo, I'd appreciate if you listen to it. It doesn't tell you who you are, where you're from, etc. Ocha has a sub imprint called Ocha Mzansi, where we specifically want to work with South African artists. We made a whole section of our business just to work with South African artists and their sounds, regardless of what style of that sound in dance music. Tell us if you're from South Africa. Tell us where you're from in South Africa. Like, we want to know who you are, maybe what crew you run with or what production teams you're a part of, etc. Like, we want to know who you are. Number 5, use a transfer service like WeTransfer.com, etc., etc., etc. Never attach your songs to email. So there's the reason why we suggest using a transfer service. WeTransfer.com, SoundCloud, private links, Dropbox, SendSpace, whatever. The reason why we recommend this is because email is number 1. When you attach stuff, a lot of times they go to spam, so they'll just never be seen. Number 2, people don't want their inbox being blown up. They don't want to take on the physical computer space of hosting everybody's MP3s or WAV demos until they run out of space on their inbox. I'm constantly deleting stuff because even my Gmail account doesn't have enough space for all the demos that get sent over. So don't attach your songs to email because it's not a good method unless the label asks you specifically to do that. I've never seen them ever ask for that. Number 6, keep all communication, and this kind of goes with number 5, keep all communication, whether it's the demo process or you're moving past the demo process and starting to talk to the label, keep all of your communication in one single thread. So if the label has you using a messenger or a text through phone or email, most of the time, a lot of people like to work through email, keep it all in one single place. So if you're reaching out and sending a demo to someone, don't reach out, write them an email, and then have them send another email that's the WeTransfer send. You know, that they're two separate things. Keep everything in one spot. Make your WeTransfer, your SoundCloud link, whatever, copy that link, put it in the email with your introduction, who you are, all that stuff. Keep it in one spot. Keep all that communication in one thread. You have to realize that when you're dealing with potentially dozens and dozens of artists at once, a label manager, A&R representative is going to have a hard time keeping track of everything. And you can't fault them for that. It's not that they don't care. It's just a lot going on. Number 7, be open to the suggestions from the A&R and executive team at the label. Carlos and I are the artistic arms of what those suggestions look like. And it's very rare that something that I like, Carlos doesn't have a suggestion about, and vice versa, right? So when we're making suggestions, it's not because we think it sucks and that's why we're making the suggestion. We're making the suggestion because we're hearing things what we feel would be better represented for what Ocha is doing. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the right way. It's just one way. So if we were, or the label was to suggest, it would be really dope to do another mix. Send me another mix of this so I can hear a whole different version of it. Or it'd be really dope if you gave me a mix where the kick drum was just a little louder, etc. Be open to that stuff. You know, like nobody's ego.
The other thing is, it's not always just you or my comments. Sometimes I'll take a song and let Oshunlade hear it, or let Hector Romero hear it, or Mr. V, or let someone else hear it and get their input on it. So those suggestions don't always just come from me. So people should be open to input.
Exactly. And that's, you know, one of the, I think the reasons why I personally, as an artist, work well with Carlos is because I value the experience and the ears that he has at his disposal. So when he gives me feedback, you know, I listen 100% of the time. I don't always do it, but I listen because I value that input. Otherwise, I just wouldn't send him anything because I think my shit don't stink or whatever. So yeah, just be open to those suggestions from the group that you're potentially auditioning your promo to. The last thing, and this is probably the most important thing of it all, is you have to be patient. And I don't mean patient with like submitting a demo and waiting to hear back. I mean with the whole process in general. Like if you're making a lot of music and you're sending a lot of it out and none of it's being heard, there's a good chance that you're missing something else involved and you're not putting the patience into any of these other steps, or your music isn't of the quality yet. So it might take you a few years to get there. And
be patient. Also, don't send us your song.
That's another fantastic point. Patience with getting a song signed and trusting the label to do something with it in the time that feels good and is right. Labels don't always 100% of the time do things the best way. They make mistakes. They're human, you know, like, so you have to just be patient and trust the process. If you keep an open line of communication in a like very human way, and remember that you're dealing with real people, and a lot of time artists just like you, usually you can get stuff resolved and everything works out. So just be patient for the whole process overall. Be patient in your creation. Be patient in taking the time to make sure the steps are taken care of, like these little tips, what have you. And then like Carlos said, be patient with the actual vibes of the music going out. Yes, Emily, you have a question?
No question. I was just going to add, I mean, you guys are basically curating a gallery, you know? So even if the release in question is going smoothly and on time, there's still, I'm assuming, an order. You guys also want to curate those releases together so that there's a flow artistically throughout the releases, and they're not just, you know, like from separate ends of the spectrum. You want the listeners to be on this journey of releases and artistic quality the same way. So even if your release is, set to go and everything, you might be getting placed at another time because it works better with those releases that are being placed
exactly
in the month, right?
Yeah, and you nailed it, because I mean, there's certain songs where sometimes we'll get and we'll be really hyped to release it, and then we'll be like, well, it's about to be the dead of winter and this is a great beach song, and it's like, well, what audience might we impact with this? Should this be an American beach song, so we wait for the summer, or should this be a summer song in South Africa? Like, depending on where you're at geographically, you have to take all that stuff into consideration. So all that stuff is really important. And also working with people around special dates. The Blueprint release, for example, is something that me and Basil have worked on for a while. It's something that Carlos has more or less agreed to for a while to be released with Ocha. It came down to Basil wanting to do another release for his birthday. We did one last year for his birthday, me and him. So we decided to do it again, like a little tradition. I don't know if it'll happen next year, but it did this year. So we could have released at any time. We decided, let's make it happen for his birthday. Same thing with Danny Kohiba's project coming out in June. His birthday is the 16th. We wanted to release it in the summer.
Make that a thing. Let's not make that a thing.
No, but I'm just I'm just saying, the point is, it's not about birthday releases.
I don't want people saying, like, hey, my birthday's coming up.
It's not necessarily about birthday releases. It's about the stars aligning, right? Like if you're going on tour and you want to push an EP, you know what I mean? We probably could try to work on the date around your tour. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, making things align, communicate, be patient about that.
So on the flip side of being patient is not, I talked about this on my Instagram like a couple months ago, people that work on music and never release it because they're not sure it's good enough, or they don't think it's ready and they want it to be perfect. So my suggestion is to go ahead and send it to us. We'll give you our feedback. I mean, that's the only way you're going to grow is. So if you have music that you're working on and you're scared to send it to a label, don't be. Send it. Worst thing that's going to happen is they're going to say, no, it sucks. So what? So somebody said it sucks. I hear that every day, all the time. I send music to labels and they say it sucks, and I keep working on music. But we're not going to tell you it sucks. We're going to give you good feedback. If it's something that's not for the label, if it's something that might be for the label, we'll make some suggestions. But it's a way for you to progress and grow as an artist, to let other people hear the music and get feedback. So I encourage you all to do that as well.
And if there's any artists listening, I'm not looking at the chat, but if there's any artists in the chat that have sent us music, you've gotten a response from me. And if you haven't, you probably didn't follow one of these tips and your email fell in spam land, or it didn't make its way through. Like, we respond to every demo that happens to make it to my inbox that I can actually see, regardless of people following the tips. You're more likely for me to pay attention and get to it immediately if you hit these bullet points. And I think most labels are going to be in the same bag. So cool. Any last signing off words of wisdom from our fantastic staff here at Ocha Records? Yes.
I'm gonna plug. So on Friday, May 1st, the band is waiving their revenue portion. So it's time to go to our Bandcamp and purchase any releases you guys have had your eyes on. All of those royalties will be going directly to the artists. So it's a great way to support our artists who are working so hard right now during COVID-19. Again, Bandcamp is waiving all their revenue shares on Friday, May 1st. So go ahead and check us out on our Bandcamp and make those purchases you've been looking out for. Another note is next Tuesday, May 5th, Hector Romero is taking over our Instagram from 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that'll be really fun to have a guest on our end. Definitely be looking out for that.
And that'll be live on Facebook as well.
Oh, great. Yes.
From 3 to 5. So that'll be live on all three platforms.
And for those of you who haven't been seeing our emailer and you're interested in joining our emailer, you can do so by going to ocharecords.com and signing up, or you can send me an email directly to be added to our mailer list, coflo@ocharecords.com, and I can get you put on the list so you can get all of the information as we send it out a couple times a month ish. Also, to be on the lookout for Carlos's next Ocha Talk, which he runs from his Instagram. I don't know if you have a date for the next one, bro.
You guys, I would love for you to subscribe to 2 channels if you're listening. Subscribe to this channel, the Ocha channel, and to my channel, which is Casa Mena. So YouTube/Casa Mena, and you'll get notified when for the next Ocha Talk, which I think is going to be this Friday at 7 p.m.
There you go.
You've been doing Fridays so far, right, Carlos?
Yeah, it's been at 5, but I think we're going to do 7 this Friday.
Okay.
Cool. So yeah, check it out. Like, we're all involved in a bunch of good stuff. Should throw us a follow on Instagram, YouTube, etc., and just be involved. Yeah, we really appreciate you for taking the time out of your day to join us once again for another listening session.
Thank you, everyone.
We hope that you enjoyed all of the music. As always, if there's anything, any feedback, any thoughts, whatever, feel free to leave a comment, message us. My email box is open for everything from business to how do we make things better. Again, Coflo@OchaRecords.com. And yeah, we'll make it happen. So once again, from the team. All right, so Emily, you're on, let's see, Carlos is on.
I'm like,
well, no, on my side,
right.
on the stream. Other side, Carlos.
oh,
And then Emily, you put up your hand. Put up the other hand. Other hand, Emily. Okay, and 1, 2, 3, clap. Bink. Teamwork. Okay, there we go. We did it. All right, y'all. Much love. Thank you again for tuning in. Peace.
bye, guys.
Have everybody have a great day.
See ya.
Be safe.